Hello and welcome to FountainFX on Sunday the 5th of July 2015. It's 20 past 9 in the evening and we are waiting to see the results of this Greek ballot on whether they should stay or leave the euro. Now in all of this, the ballots, they had an exit poll from the voting booths, etc., and it reckoned that, this is obviously Greek TV, that the oxy, as it is, I don't know how on earth you would say that in Greek, these are the no's and these are the yes, that basically the no's were leading by 52% to 48. Some have put it as close as 51.5 to 48.5. And we shall see exactly what's happening. But on live Greek television, which I'll just quickly flick over to, it looks like the no's are very much further ahead than what was predicted. And here I've just paused it on live TV. As you can see, they're paused. It is live. They're actually saying the no's are up at 61.3%, and the yeses, it says nay, but I think the yes is 38.7%. So it looks like it's going towards a no vote very strongly, but we will only be able to see that in the light of day. So let's just switch over to the charts and see what the possibilities are. So when we actually go to the euro itself, we can see that this really, the euro's been in trouble for a long period of time. It's about trying to keep this unified currency together, keep everyone adhering to it, and the problem with that is that if you can't let your currency float freely, which the UK found back in 1992 when it was part of the European Monetary Union, and suddenly interest rates went from 10% to 15% in one day, and the way in which they had to probably try and manage that was to sell gold or devalue its currencies, do lots of different things to try and keep within the parameters of the larger European monetary zone, and the UK basically said we can't do it, so they dropped out. They pulled away from the EMF, as it was called at the time, and the UK really hasn't looked back. It's been a big benefit to the UK and pound sterling not being part of the Eurozone. So this may actually have a very positive effect to the Greek economy. People are talking about whether or not they join the drachma or whatever, but irrespective of all of that, this is all news, it's all gossip, it's all speculation. What we actually want to see is we want to see what's going to happen to the actual currency values out there in terms of the value of the euro. And the answer is we don't really know. So what we have to see is we have to see what the market's going to show us. And right now the market's closed, so we've got no idea as to how this is going to happen. But the effect will roll out tomorrow, certainly at 8 o'clock our time, when the Eurozone switches on, and suddenly they will react. If we go back to what happened last week, we'll show you what happened there. But if you consider here that price has been falling on the Eurozone, it was falling rapidly, and it got down to just below the 105, and everyone was speculating it was going to get down to 1-to-1. Well, how did they stop the fall? The European economy started to print money. In fact, this is when the ECB, at this point here, the ECB announced that they were going to issue 2 trillion euros of free money, basically, to stimulate the European economy. So, at this time, we then saw that the actual free fall in the euro stopped at this point, because we suddenly had a cash injection of euros, so therefore the euro economy started to increase, started to recover. We also had some negative US data come out. Basic price tried to continue to push down. This is all the negative Greek news pushing the euro back down, but obviously more and more euros are flooding into the eurozone, so there's more positive feeling on the euro, pushing the price back up. Okay, now what's actually happened since then, you can see that we've really, especially around here with all of this Greek stuff coming out, it's causing turbulence, it's causing indecision, a lack of direction. Certainly last week was very much a waste of time, but what we actually had at the beginning of the week, Monday morning, we had this massive gap down, and it was because that basically Greek admitted on Sunday that there was no way they were going to pay their they were going to default on what they owed. Okay, and they defaulted on Tuesday. So we had this massive gap down from here down to there, pushed down, and what did we see? We saw a reversal. So we get an opportunity. When there's a gap down, you've got the opportunity to take the price in the opposite direction. So let's just take a closer look at what actually happened with that on a smaller time frame. So now we've gone down into the 1 hour chart, and we can see here that this was where the origin of the gap was here at the top, where I'm drawing the red line, and it basically closed at that point on the Friday evening, and on the Sunday evening, Monday morning, it opened here. Price continued to push down, but only for a short period of time. Then you started to see in the Asian session buyers coming back in. Now this point here was the European Open, and we then started to see a sell-off only down into this low here for it to then turn and recover, and for the rest of the day we saw the European session push to new highs and try and what we were looking for was a gap close. So the European session came up in here. There was some other data that was due out, but basically when the Americans switched on, they continued to push it, and they rode the euro higher than the gap was. And at the end of the day, basically the price had moved 250 points in one direction from where the gap was a drop of 160 points, and we had a recovery of 250. Now that just gives you a clear idea of what the opportunity we may be facing Monday morning again is if with the no vote and obviously the exit of Greece from the European Union, we could be seeing a big gap down, and therefore a continuation in a similar pattern like this. On the other hand, we may see that the markets react in the sense that they think, great, the euro is going to be stronger without the Greeks, and we see a gap up. But the reality is we don't know what's going to happen at all. I cannot predict how the markets are going to react in terms of how the banks are going to react with the value of the euro against the value of the dollar, or the value of the euro overall against the euro, the pound, etc., until we switch on and we look at the market for a Monday morning situation. So I'm going to go to sleep. I'm going to enjoy my sleep, and I'm going to get up early tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock, and I'm going to switch on, and I'm going to go and have a look at the charts and start to plan and consider what the opportunities are. And we'll be sharing that live on our WhatsApp group for all of our live traders, and we'll see if there's another opportunity for us to take this great kind of movement that happened last Monday morning, a 250 point move, and see if we can get some of that price action again this Monday morning. Thank you very much from FountainFX. Have a great week. Cheers. Bye-bye.